Going on? Millennial Madman back again. Another episode. I'm going to do back to back. So this is going to be an interesting episode. I need everybody to pass this along. I need you to pass this along to everybody you know. Because the seeds that are being sown right now, people really, really, really need to realize what's going on. You need to understand why things happened when they did, how they did. This was all coordinated very, very to the T. Everybody needs to understand that. This was orchestrated. Every detail, every minute, everything that happened. And at this point, when you look at what has happened over the last 25 years at least, all of my teen to adult life, and before that, but it's gotten significantly worse over the last 25 years. This will all tie in. It's going to be an interesting episode, but I need you to share it. Follow me on Instagram at DDT018Z. You can follow me there. I send out a lot of stuff. I'm giving a lot of information out, passing a lot of information out. That's what people really need to be doing right now. So I'm hearing a lot of things, and this video is going to be about remembering 9/11, remembering 9/11, and the wake of what's happened with this Charlie Kirk assassination, but also the aftermath. And I am seeing the wheels turning in place. And this is why you need to follow this show, whether it is fancy or not, whether I give you, all the fancy bells and whistles or not. It's straight information. Sorry, I'm your vegetables. I need you to share this video because they are setting you up. They're setting me up. They're setting you all up. The playbook is right there. It's in front of you. They are really not even hiding it that much. They're really hoping and praying that you are overwhelmed with emotion and act on emotion so that they can prey on that mistake. That's the truth of the matter of this. Charlie Kirk was assassinated for a reason. Charlie Kirk. So for anybody out there on the left who happens to stumble upon this or does get this, you should not be celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk. Whether you agreed with him or not, whether you thought he was a transphobe or not, whether you thought he was the worst of humanity or not, you should not be cheering what happened to that man. You have to understand right now there is a game of chess being played far above both of our heads. And when I say both of our heads, I mean leftist heads, progressive heads, anarchist heads, Republican heads, independent heads, populist heads. Everyone right now is playing checkers, and there's a big giant game of chess being played over your head. So for all the leftists out there, any of the progressives who were hideous enough to give any sort of condoning to what happened to Charlie Kirk, just understand that you will be next in this process. Sorry, I'm outside. You'll be the next one in this process. If you think for 1 second that the establishment above you, the ruling establishment above you, gives a shit about trans rights, about gay rights, about abortions, about any of the things that they purport to care about to you, you're sorely mistaken. Just like I would tell the right, the political right, the populist right, whatever definition you want to label it, if you think that the Republican Party purports to care about any of the things that they profess to care to you. Oh, and by the way, to the left and the right, that means you're influencers as well. They're paid. They're paid to promote whatever. Charlie Kirk was no different. I hate to say it, and by all means, I'm not trying to, put dirt on a dead man right now. That's not what I'm doing here. But I'm responsible to tell people the truth. I'm not responsible to give it to you your way. This isn't fucking Burger King. It's not why you listen to me. It's not why anybody's going to listen to anybody these days. It's because you're going to be real. I'm just being real with you right now. You are both being led down a path to fight one another. It's amazing. It's amazing. And very few people have even questioned the narrative out there right now. They literally just apprehended the person who they think perpetrated this horrific act. So we are just at the point where we're getting the suspect under control, and we're actually able to do any sort of questioning and find out, actually, is this the person who perpetrated the act? Is this person? What do we do next? What were the reasons, quote, behind it that they're going to say? There were questions about whether there were hand signals given out in the crowd prior to this happening, which would lead to it being a hit. There's no facial recognition, so we don't know who this person was until we just identified them moments ago as of this video. And yet, over the last 36 to 48 hours, there's been a haunting narrative immediately driven towards the left. Now, here's the thing. Now, people from the left are not helping their situation where they're laughing and they're mocking a dead man. That's why you'll never win a political election again, by the way. That's why this is even more haunting on where this is and where this country is going and how dark this could end up. People are not going back to the Democratic Party. It's not happening. Even in all of this that's going on, people are losing interest in your cause. People are losing interest in your struggle. And for people on the left, this is a moment where you could actually heal some of the situation and understand that a bigger game is being played on you and the people who just suffered. I don't know a different way to say this to people where you can get yourself out of the equation. To the people on the right who are sitting here and sopping up a bunch of information in which there is no information. So if there's no concrete facts to anything, you are purporting into gossip. We don't know if this person was Antifa. We don't know if they were on the left. We don't know if they were trans. We don't know. We were given information that there was left-leaning trans ideology on the bullets. And yes, I'm saying that out loud, CNN, who refused to report the news. There was trans ideology on the gun. At the same time, for everyone to immediately leap to a conclusion off of something that can easily be set up to get you thinking in a direction. This shit is chess. It's not checkers. Everyone needs to step back from the situation. A lot of people are angry. I'm angry. People on the left are angry. And I'm going to say something that people on the right are not going to like. The people on the left side of our country, they have a reason to be angry. They have a reason to be disillusioned with what's going on. And maybe we need to say that out loud, collectively as a group, that while we disagree with what they believe, while we believe that there's mental health issues deeply within that community, we can look at the situation and look at ourselves and look around us. Because I will speak from the, quote, right. I'm not a Republican. Never said I was. I'm an advocate for human rights. I'm an advocate for the human experience. I'm an advocate for people being able to exchange ideas. I think the left needs to take a look at the situation that the quote right lives on and the conditions in which we live under and say that it's pretty fucked up for us too. And that it's not going well for any of the decent, basic people in this country anymore. I understand why the left is angry. It's funny, and this is the interesting part of this that I think nobody's really talking about either. The left has been the one who's been purporting for Palestinian rights. The left has been the one who's been against Israeli interests, has spoke against the Zionists, has tried to bring to the forefront what is actually going on, and I've got to admit, they were right about it. The funniest part about this, and for anybody who's watching this, and you all should be, the same people who have been shouting for Palestinian rights actually have the right's attention. They have people like myself who've looked into it and said, wait a minute here. What are we supporting? What exactly is going on here? Including the man that you just shot in the fucking neck. Or excuse me, I apologize. I will take that back. Not who you shot in the neck, but you're supporting whoever shot him in the neck. Excuse me. Because I don't know. We don't know any of the facts at this point. We literally have just gotten a suspect and a name. But it's funny that Charlie Kirk, and this is where I'm going to get to on this, and this is where the left should be applauding. You should be applauding from the left-hand side if you're truly about your ideals as you purport to be. If you're truly about tolerance and understanding as you purport to be, then you should be welcoming the idea that a mainstream, possibly, arguably the most mainstream conservative voice was actually starting to come around to the idea that the Israelis were committing genocide. Have you thought about that for 1 second? In your communities, in your Reddit chats, because I know where you all hide, in your video games, in your little Reddit chats, at your Sam Cedar shows and your MSNBC, in all of those places. Is that mentioned? Have you mentioned that? Did you talk about that? Really interesting timing, left. And I'm talking to them right now. I'll get to the right here in a moment. Really interesting timing, eh? But see, here's the thing. You don't ever listen to Charlie Kirk. You've never heard Charlie Kirk. You get a sound clip of something, of an opinion that you don't like. And you have the right to not like it. You also have the right to not talk to him, not engage with him. You have the right to turn his shit off. You have the right on your notifications on anything to say, I don't want to listen to this guy. I don't want his opinions. At the same time, though, for you to celebrate a man's death without knowing any of the circumstances whatsoever, without doing any questioning, without actually knowing any of the facts that are actually going on. Is there any... Let me ask a question to anybody from the left-hand side who happens to listen to this. Is there any redemption for a man or a woman in this life? That's a simple question. I'd love an answer. Can a person in life, in this experience, because guess what? We all live and we all die. So, let's get a little spiritual for a second. In that instance, through that experience, is there any point in time in your life where you could ever review facts, dig in on information, ask for more, ask questions, and find out that you're wrong? I've been wrong so many times in my life. I have gone the wrong road so many times in my life. I've been fooled so many times in my life. I've been misled so many times in my life. Here's the difference between somebody like myself and somebody on that side of the aisle. I'm willing to say when I'm wrong. I'm willing to say when I was misled. I'm willing to say when I got information, I got more information. And I have the right to change my opinion. 5 years ago, I would not be talking about Israel like I am right now. I would have been Ted fucking Cruz. Well, the Bible tells me that if I bless Israel, I'm blessed. And if I don't bless Israel, I'm cursed. Hey, you fucking moron. You stupid imbecile. Since you want to sit there, and by the way, you were exposed by Tucker Carlson, so. But since you want to quote the Bible to me, let's talk about a little bit of the Bible. Old Testament versus New Testament, and I'm not going to bore you a ton with this. People often read Old Testament in the Bible and think that that is what the experience is. Old Testament in a Bible is a historical reference. You have pre-Christ and post-Christ. The New Testament is post-Christ. You read New Testament as new law. The Old Testament is old law. And by the way, dumbass, they weren't referring to an Israeli state that was developed in 1948 after World War II. They were not talking about the secular Jews. But the left is way off on this. And the left having no empathy, grace, all of the things, the love and the acceptance that they purport to have. That's why you're losing this. And by the way, that is why the government right now is trying to paint you as the bad guy. It's funny, isn't it? Last time when Biden and Harris and Obama were in power, they were busy calling everybody of the other half of the country deplorables, Nazis. But now remember, we've got to turn the temperature down, the volume. We've got to turn the volume down, right? It's interesting. Who started calling who Nazis? Who started? That's not, and I'm not blaming the left or the right. What I'm saying is it's the media and it's the government and it's the politicians. They're the ones who amped up the volume. They're the ones who gave the left the ability to crack down on free speech, limit stuff on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it. Guess what? You are putting yourselves in a position where they are going to use you as the useful pawns. And when you have such little empathy, sympathy, any kind of E you want, get the politics out of it. That was a man with 2 fucking kids and a wife. By the way, those kids were in attendance. His wife was in attendance for that. This is not a fucking political discussion. That's what I always want to tell the left. Not everything's a political discussion. That wasn't about that man's politics. And you wonder why you lose the battle. You wonder why you are watching Donald Trump gain power. Because guess what? He gave lip service to a group of people who are desperate for help, too. Just like you. Do you think the right of this country is living well? Do you think that they have excelled the last 25 years? I got news for all of you, left, right, any of you. Most of you cannot afford a $400 emergency. This guy included. Most of you are living off of credit cards. I don't have to say left or right, eh? All I have to do is take general numbers, most being 80+% of this country, period. How many of us are affected by the fact that we can't own homes? Forget the left and the right for a second. Just think as a human being. I want you to think as an individual right now, because I'm talking to you through the phone, talking to you through the screen. How many of you can't afford the rent that you have? Have any of you questioned why the rent has raised to the rate it is? Who's doing that? I'm going to go back a second. The left is setting themselves up very well to be a useful patsy in this situation. If you're out there and you're listening, and if you're on the quote left side of things, I encourage you to find some humanity in this situation. I encourage you to reach out to the people around you. I encourage all of you to reach out to the people around you and take a step back here and understand that you are being orchestrated into a civil war. They're doing this on purpose. So now I'm going to turn to the right. So right now, we are doing the same exact things that we screamed, hollered, fought against the left doing. We are assuming things. We are jumping to conclusions. When I've got news for you, that was a 200 fucking plus yard sniper shot. That wasn't some random person who pulls that shot. That was one shot to the jugular. Funny. Few people seem to be questioning the details of this. The details that we do have. We're blaming the left. We're ready to have a civil war. We don't know who it is. We literally just found out who this person is. But as of this video, we are ready to go out and fight people on the left, and I get it. I understand. I'm angry too. Extremely angry. But I think both the left and the right need to understand you are being leveraged, you are being laughed at, you are being mocked, joked. You are the jester in this. You are the pawn. It is time to stop being the pawn. Not going to give you any, I'm not Nick Fuentes. I'm not any of these motherfuckers. I just want people to wake up. It is right in front of your face. People on the right, as much as I know you want to go out and get your pound of flesh, don't do it. You can't do it. If you do it, that is exactly what this government wants you to do. They are looking for you to respond and they want you to get that pound of flesh. Why? Because they want nothing more than to come in and take your gun rights and take your ability to speak even more. Understand this. This is a setup. Where was that shot? 200 yards. 200 plus yards away. Go look at the overview of where that shot took place from. That's not anybody. That's not some rando who pulls that shot. One shot to the jugular. That was symbolic. I'm going to give you some unfortunate news. I'm going to give you some real unfortunate news. And I'm going to keep this as short and brief as I can because I want people, I need this shared because who knows what's going to happen to me. I'm not afraid though. There's nothing for me to be afraid of anymore. I don't have anything. I've been bled dry. I've been raped, robbed, taxed to death, to poverty, while I watch this pyramid scheme of lies and thieves and robbers get rich. I decided I'll split up the 9/11 video. I'll give you a different one for people who want it, but I need this one shared. And I need people to give me a half hour to listen to this and understand that you are both being played right now. They are against you. The Democrats are against you. The Republicans are against you. They are captured. They are occupied. And here's the thing. The more people are speaking and the more they're getting to the truth, the actual truth, for the left and the right, the evidence is right in front of you. Everyone on the left who's saying, oh, well, Charlie Kirk, no, that was a message to you too. Charlie Kirk, and this is how I'll end this, Charlie Kirk was beginning to expose the Israeli lies. The fact that our government is blackmailed, captured by the Epstein files, which is why you're not getting them. Oh, and by the way, how coincidental for all the people on the right. While that happened, there's a timeline, and that's why you follow me on my Instagram. There's a timeline that shows when Kirk was assassinated, Trump announcing it on Truth Social, and guess what happened while the 5 to 9 o'clock news was happening and everyone was worried about the Charlie Kirk assassination? 51 Republicans voted to table the Epstein files, and nobody said a word. Nobody said anything. Go look. Think I'm lying? Go look. It's right in front of you. You need to share this with everyone. You know. You need to know that they are actively setting up a civil war. They want uneducated people who don't know what's going on, to go out and make rash decisions so that they can come in and give you Palantir and digital IDs and their bullshit social credit scores. And it is time. It is far past time for the people in this country to stand up together and say, okay, whether we agree on things or not, what is going on right now is not the answer. And everybody knows it. Here's the craziest part, and this is how I'll end this. Left and right, you all know it. It's not working for any of you. But here's the thing, fighting the person next to you who's fucked in this system, fighting the person next to you, they're not the enemy. They're not the people who are plotting, actively searching out and looking for every single event, way, angle to take away every single right you have left. How much longer for people? That is the question I always ask, and I'll end it right here. For the left and the right, I understand why you're not happy. I get it. But I think it's time you all start understanding why you're angry. For real. Tell the truth. Share this message. Stay free.